Oh, my God. The struggle with Time Warner is ongoing. It's fascinating to me that just last night, probably into the 20 or 25th call I've made to them about the dropping out of my internet in the evening. And now I've had 3 technicians over. I've got a new modem, and they've done some new wiring outside, and they insist that everything's fine, yet the problem persists. And finally, this is 2 weeks into it or more, I put in one call the other night, and I get put on hold to talk to a supervisor, which doesn't happen for 15 minutes, and I decide I've got other things to do other than just seethe to bad music. And I call back, and then I tell them the problem. They're like, well, I see here on your file you're waiting for a supervisor. I'm like, yeah, well, that guy I don't think even exists. Whoever the supervisor was, I think perhaps that the customer service representative got aggravated with my tone and decided to punish me by hanging me in shitty music limbo with the occasional advertisement for your bad company. And I actually said that. I got into that tone. It's like, I don't know how you guys can, be such a bad company. Then I call a third time, and again, same tone. There's nothing you can do. You do nothing. Is there somebody somewhere that can do something? And then this guy goes, well, let me connect you to tier 2. I'm like, tier 2? What's tier 2? Tier 2 customer service. Huh. So then I hear a phone ringing. I'm being connected to tier 2. And then it rings 3 times, and then the call drops. So now I get back on the phone, and I'm like, I was on hold being connected to tier 2, whatever that is. What's your name and your phone number? Just connect me to tier 2. I want to be part of that. I need to connect and talk to tier 2. And they're like, okay. I give them the information. So then bad music, then phone ringing, and then a woman with an unidentifiable accent says, can I help you? And there's part of me that thinks like tier 2 is on another planet. That's why this has become so difficult, is that another planet is managing our internet connections, and they haven't quite figured out our ways or the right way to do it, given the gravitational force of our planet and the electrical fields that exist. I'm speaking to an alien. That's how it made me feel better. And this alien, this person from another planet, did something that has not happened in the 2 weeks that I've been going through this. And that is, she said, I'm running diagnostics on your line. Not just sort of I'm checking the connection. There is something else that happens on tier 2. Tier 2 is its own universe, its own planet. They're doing some special tier 2 shit to my line. And she goes, yeah, there's some red, there's a problem with the connection between the server and your modem. And I'm like, thank you. Thank you, lady from another planet. Thank you. What happens now? Because I feel like I'm close to getting a solution and perhaps some help. She says, well, I'm going to put it on a 72-hour watch to see if it keeps happening. I'm like, yes, that sounds proactive and great. It sounds like your planet has good conflict resolution solutions, and I enjoy doing business with you and your planet. I don't know why you've chosen the front company or the facade of Time Warner, because they clearly don't know what's going on. Why can't you just be the person in charge who does hands-on diagnostic tests and makes me feel looked after for 72 hours to see if the problem that I've been saying is real for 2 weeks is actually real? So I communicated with Alien Lifeform in the customer service area, and I'm looking forward to what that 72-hour watch on my line for problems yields. Yeah, that's where I'm at. There's been contact. Folks, I know that I've kept you in the loop about my trials and tribulations, in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, I feel very close to you. And you know what's going on with me for the most part. But I do have to report that my struggle, and this is starting to seem like an eternal struggle, like almost a spiritual struggle with one of the gods that runs our planet. It's taking on a spiritual dimension. It's confronting, parts of myself that I'm not comfortable with. It's making me confront the existential crisis of mortality and are we alone in the world? It's making me confront my personal morality. And I think you know what struggle I'm talking about. That is my struggle with Time Warner Cable, who is my internet provider. This is a reality of modern life. I have to deal with Time Warner Cable. I have no choice. If I want access to the world, I need to deal with it. It's my portal to the world. And my portal to the world becomes compromised every night around 5 or 6 in the evening. My portal to the world is very slow. It makes me very anxious. It makes me aggravated. It causes me stress. It's probably giving me cancer. The fact that I can't access the world at a reasonable speed. Or more succinctly, the fucking speed that I pay for. It's becoming mythological. Time Warner is now becoming mythic to me because I'm not fucking sure if they're real. I know there's a lot of people involved. I know I plug something in, but I'm not sure that they know what's going on. I don't believe the lip service paid in print and on television to their concern for the speed and convenience of their services. I'm not sure that there's anyone really regulating anything over there. You know, from what I can glean, they got into the internet business because they just absorbed another company. There's all this infrastructure laying around. I think they hope it works. But as I told you, I was taken last week to Tier 2, which I decided was on another planet. I talked to a woman on another planet with a peculiar accent that I decided was alien in the truest sense of the word, not in any sort of nationalistic or racist sense of the word. She lived on another planet. That Time Warner had subcontracted Tier 2 of its customer service to alien beings who were there as a sort of safeguard, a kind of a wall of interference between whatever it is Time Warner really is and customers. So Tier 2 lady, the alien from another planet, she was going to keep a watch on my connection for 72 hours. The female alien lady from another planet was throwing a switch that would keep a watch on my connection. So 2 days later, shit was still going down every night, 6 o'clock, garbage, no connection. I would do compulsive speed tests. I would reboot my router 2 or 3 times, occasionally get it for a little while. So then I decided, I better call and see if I can get through to the other planet, to the lady on another planet, to see what's going on. How is that monitoring going of my connection? So I call up, and now my attitude towards Tier 1, or the first wall of obstruction of customer service at Time Warner, my attitude is like, okay, you're angry. They anticipate that. Maybe you should choose a different tone, not because you expect them to help. I'm calling them knowing they can't help me, that the first wall of defense of Time Warner's incompetence cannot help me anymore. I know that. We're past that. And I know that if I tell them my phone number, push it into my phone, they will see my history of 3 technicians, compulsive calls for over 2 weeks, 20 or 30 calls, that I've done everything they've asked me to do. I've jumped through all the hoops. I've gotten a new modem, that all that stuff is right there in front of them. So I call them up with a new tone, and my tone is this. They go, "Hi, Time Warner, can I help you?" I'm like, "Yes, hi. Look, I've been calling a lot, and I just wanted you to know that your company is horrible. That Time Warner is a horrible company. They're terrible, and they're liars. I just want you to know that, and I'm comfortable with that. I've accepted that, and I want you to know that." I'm saying this to a person who I know's job is to take a certain amount of shit, but I don't want to be abusive, so I just want to know. It's like, look, it's just bad. Time Warner is awful, and I'd really like to make another choice, but I don't think you can help me. He says, "I'm sorry that you're having trouble. What can I help you with?" I'm like, you actually can't help me. There's nothing you can do for me. It's not within your power to do anything for me. All right, do you see my information there? You see what's going on? There's nothing you can suggest. There's nothing that you can do for me. So let's just skip the fucking game. Can you get me to Tier 2? I'd like to talk to the woman who lives on another planet. So he goes, "Well, I'll give you to advanced technical support for internet." I'm like, sure, let's go that route. Let's go advanced. So now I get to advance, and this woman's like, yeah, can I help you? I'm like, I don't know. I don't think so, but I just feel like I should be calling you guys because things aren't right, and I shouldn't be paying for it, and I don't really have much options with other servers. So I don't think there's anything you can do for me. I just wanted to tell you that you work for a horrible company. Time Warner's horrible. And I know that you're on another planet probably, so this is, probably not even your concern. I don't think that human problems are your issue, but I do want you to know that the reason that they've hired you on whatever planet you live on is because you have no conscience, you have no empathy, and you think that human problems are trivial. That being said, I just wanted to report to you that I'm still having problems, after the hour 5 or 6 at night, and it's the exact same problems, and I just wanted to tell you that. And she goes, well, are you using, I've got your connection right now. Are you using a Wi-Fi router? Oh, okay, you're going to work it's my fault, the router angle. Yes, I do, but that isn't the problem because, I had a watch put on my connection because a woman, who's there with you in whatever structure you're in that allows you to breathe properly if you do breathe oxygen, told me that they were going to watch my connection. Do you see that on there? She goes, no, I don't see any red flags or any, but you don't see that they're watching it? No, I don't see that, sir. So the people on your planet are pathological liars, which would make sense with your lack of empathy and concern for the human animal. But my fear is, folks, that, not unlike a spiritual search, is that I'm learning something about myself. I don't want to accept this. I believe that we should fight bad companies. I believe that apathy is not the way to handle this, that this is just the way it is. But sadly, I think that most people wear out before I wear out. And I think that most people don't call. So they're just sort of hedging their bets. And the reason they hire customer service on any planet is to sort of be a wall of sort of base, simple communication that the people hired in customer service, especially at Time Warner, are really just there to absorb the hostility, anger, disappointment, and frustration of their customers. And what they're hoping is that people will just wear out and just tire out and accept the garbage that they provide for you as service just because that's the way it is. That's what they're hoping for. But my persistence has led me to the sad realization that really Time Warner's slogan should be, we're here, we're all you've got, and we can't help you. Because I think at the end of the day, not unlike spiritual belief, is that it's really on you. Where are you going to hang your hope? Who are you going to be as a person in the world? How are you going to treat other people? That the bottom line is that not unlike a scientific search out into space, eventually you hit a wall of, we don't know. We don't know. Even with God, it's sort of like, what God? What? Tell me what to do. There's no answer. For whatever reason you think there's no answer, but there's no answer. The answer is going to come from your heart. You know what? Because it's not knowable. It's not knowable. God is not necessarily knowable. It's a decision that comes from within your heart, how you're going to build that relationship. So now that I know this, I know that when you get all the way through the Time Warner customer service labyrinth, at the core of it, at the end of your search, at the end of your demand for help, they don't know. They don't know why it's not working. They just have a huge, multi-tiered, with several planets involved and satellites, a huge system that you can get lost in. And there's no one at the end that says, oh yeah, I know. They don't know. And, how you're going to behave and how you're going to act in the face of that realization, that's for you to know.